Exactly. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
The hell with it. Welcome back to another episode of Beards, Bourbon, and Bullshit. And today I happen to have a very good man by the name of Randy Speiser here. Met him at ATR Training Systems at a strongman night, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And how long had you been in strongman up until that point?
I competed. I think my first contest was in 2018, maybe, and then I competed till 2022, 23.
Oh, okay.
With COVID year, I got really sick with COVID, so I didn't compete.
I gotcha.
In 2020.
I gotcha.
So I think 5 years of competing.
Do you miss it?
No.
No.
No. I enjoyed the training, and the first couple contests I did, I really enjoyed it. It was the last contest I did. It was the Celtic Bison Festival in 2023, I believe.
Okay.
And it was about midway through the competition, and I was considering just withdrawing from the wrestling.
Really?
Like, I didn't want to be there anymore.
Oh,
and that was kind of like my clue. Okay, you're done here.
Yeah.
And I was doing pretty well. I think I ended up placing second in that competition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I was struggling.
Yeah.
I just lost the drive to do it.
Didn't want to do it no more.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't ever going to take it to a professional level and nothing like that. It was just something I did for fun.
Right.
So.
You weren't willing to start injecting
No.
No.
Yeah, I was just doing it for something to do, and then when it stopped being fun, I just walked away.
It was a hobby.
And I don't regret it.
No.
Occasionally, I'll still go heavy, and I started CrossFitting the past couple months, and I'm looking at competing in the tactical games.
Nice.
I was looking at a competition this summer, but some other things occurred that I'm not going to be able to do it this summer.
I gotcha.
We'll see.
I gotcha.
I'm still not accepting the fact I'm in my 40s. I'm trying to do the things that I would have done when I was younger.
I'm still 1 year away from that, so I'm hanging on to that, bro.
Yeah. Body's starting to hurt a little bit more and stuff now, so trying to be a little bit smarter about my training.
Yeah. Yeah, there definitely comes a point in age where you have to step back and look at that just a touch, because it's not, you're not nice to your body doing a lot of things. Like,
and stuff that you did in your 20s and 30s starts hurting a lot more in your 40s, and so
that ain't no kidding. Let's take a second to thank Pine Bluffs Distilling once again for allowing us to sit back here in this beautiful barrel room.
Absolutely.
And promote their double gold winner rye whiskey, straight rye whiskey. If I could spit that out, that'd be great. They were up and they competed against 819 other companies, or entries, I guess I should say, including Jim Beam. So they kicked ass at it and got a double gold. Let's see. I can see why.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's nothing to shake your nose at, that's for sure.
I'll be picking up a bottle on my way out, I think.
Absolutely. Why not?
Yep.
So you're a canine handler as well, right? For the DOC.
Yep. Department of Corrections.
Yep. I guess I probably should have threw that out there, but how many years have you been canine handler?
I've been a canine handler for 6 years now, since 2019. I've been with the department since 2008, so I've been with the department for 17 years now.
Very good.
I started in Rollins at the state penitentiary there, and I was there for about 10 years before taking the canine job and moving to Cheyenne.
Oh, very good.
I pretty much work all over the state. We cover, the 5 prisons throughout the state, 3 halfway houses, and however many counties. Probation and parole calls us out. We assist them with home searches.
I got you. So you're busy.
Yep. A lot of time on the road.
Very good.
A lot of times seeing this gorgeous state ours.
Right.
So
sometimes it's gorgeous if the snow's not blowing sideways.
Winter, my road time gets a little obnoxious, but is what it is.
Man, I tell you, it's and you're still training, right? Throughout all of this, you're still finding time to get into the gym.
Yep, I'm working out, anywhere from 4 to 5 days a week if my schedule allows it. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I can only get into the gym once or twice a week.
Yeah.
In fact, last month I think I only got like 4 training sessions in.
Oh,
last
really?
month. Like it was just a lot of stuff going on, and I was constantly on the road. And then by the time when I wasn't on the road, I going to the gym wasn't something I was going to
right.
Just, you know,
I understand
catching
that.
up with stuff around the house.
Exactly. Get busy for doing what you got to do. Absolutely. And you just started a new little business venture as well, right?
Yep. I started Defend Now LLC, which is a firearms training company. I've been a firearms instructor for the Department of Corrections for just shy of 10 years now.
Oh, okay.
And so I've been teaching pistol, shotgun, and patrol rifle is what I'm certified in. So I just started offering civilian classes. This is the first month I started offering those classes. So yeah, I kind of focus more on, the actual skill of shooting, and not some concealed carry classes. You go through, they talk about all the legal aspects, and that stuff's important, but I focus more on the physical side of it, the actually shooting. You're going to come into my classes, you're actually going to shoot the gun. Yeah. You're going to learn how to load, reload, how to hold it, how to shoot with one hand. All the stuff that you're probably going to have to do if you end up in a really bad situation. You have to defend your life.
Right. The important stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
are you noticing is it mainly just men coming to you, or are women kind of?
Right now, because like I said, I've only taught one day of classes. It's been pretty well a mix.
Oh, okay.
I am going to offer a women's only class. So
very nice.
If women aren't comfortable being in a class with men, which I understand.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to offer women's only classes. And I kept the price of my classes fairly affordable, just because I don't need to do it to make money.
Right.
My job pays me well enough.
Yeah.
So I just kind of do it. I enjoy teaching, and
yeah, that's good. We need more people like that that actually enjoy teaching people. So, are you gonna? Is it like Pistol 1, Pistol 2, Pistol 3? Will you do an advanced group?
That's my plan. Right now, I'm just kind of doing basic classes.
Okay.
I was supposed to have basic handgun classes tomorrow. Nobody signed up for them. Right now, it's just kind of a grind getting my name out there.
Yeah.
I'm putting stuff out on social media, but social media isn't really gun friendly. So I have to word it a certain way, or it doesn't go through. It doesn't get posted, or it's taken down. So trying to get my name out there and get people to where they're comfortable
for sure.
taking classes from me.
Yeah.
Has been tough. But once I start getting that, yes, I do plan on doing more like advanced courses, especially with the handguns and the carbine. Okay. The AR-15s, like learning how to actually fight with those things.
I gotcha. That'd be something that probably everybody needs to know.
So that's my plan. The shotgun classes, the shotgun's kind of my passion. I love shotgun. And it's not like you're standing on a line shooting skeet. It's not that class at all. It's learning how to fight. That's a class I hope takes off, because I really enjoy playing with shotguns. So
are you taking people that come in with like the 5-round mag semi-auto shotguns?
Yeah, I'll take anybody.
Okay, perfect. It's not like you got to have a pump or...
Nope. You show up with what you show up with, and we'll run it.
Yeah, I can show up with my little single shot and just...
You're going to figure out what's wrong with that. But, the shotgun, even if you've got like an extended tube, 7-round tube, the problem with the shotgun is keeping that thing loaded. You come in with a single shot or a double shot, you're really behind the curve. But if that's what you show up with, we'll run it.
Yeah, and you're going to be snickering to yourself the entire...
Yep.
So how you been other than that? Like it's been what? 2-3 years since you and me actually talked to each other? 2 years at least.
Yeah, I think it's been...
Maybe even be more than that.
Yeah, it's been about a year since I left ATR, and there was nothing wrong with ATR.
No.
When I wasn't doing a strongman anymore.
Right.
I live on the complete opposite town, so I just wasn't getting over that gym anymore. But still a good gym.
Oh, absolutely. So I love being able to go in there.
Check out ATR. But yeah, I think it's been a year plus.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's been a long time. And then once you started your new endeavor, I figured I'd get you on here and
yeah, I appreciate it.
we can try to boost you a little bit more,
I appreciate it.
make some good stuff. What's your YouTube channel called?
The YouTube channel is called Trigger Tone, capital T Trigger _ capital T Tone. And right now I'm still trying to figure out my niche.
Got
right?
you.
I'm still trying to get comfortable behind the camera and talking. Like,
That's
it's easy
not
talking.
easy.
Yeah, talking to you is fairly easy.
Oh, for sure.
Hit record on and it's just me standing there staring at a camera, and it's like I forget words, and English is hard, and so I'm still trying to figure out what my niche is going to be. But it focuses on firearms and some fitness stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but mostly firearms. I
got you. So, what brought you into working at the DOC? Like, what did you do prior to that?
I was in college.
You were in college?
Yeah, I'm 17 years into the first real job I took.
Oh, okay.
I finished school. I grew up in Michigan, and I was going to school at a small private school in southern Michigan. I finished with an associate's, and really I was in college for the wrong reasons. I
got you.
I walked onto the football team, and I was just kind of there to play football.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of lost the drive to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then I didn't want to be in college, so I left after 2.5 years. And then it was time to grow up and find a job. And at that time, Michigan's economy was really bad. This was 2007.
I grew up there as well.
Yeah. And so I couldn't find work. And a friend of mine was like, hey, Wyoming's testing up in Lansing for Department of Corrections, and do you want to go? And it was the same Saturday as a Michigan State game in Lansing.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then after we'll hit a bar in Lansing and watch the game. And we did that. And I think it was about 2 months later, I was loaded up my truck and drove to Wyoming.
Kidding. Nice.
And, I was in Rawlins for that winter. I had to report January 2nd was when my academy started in Rawlins.
Oh, okay.
And got there, and that was a brutal winter. I was there about a month. Like, as soon as I-80 opens, I'm going home. Like, I'm not staying here. But here I am, 17 years later.
You stuck in it.
But then I just hit a point where I'm like, we have a 20 and out retirement. And where I'm like, well, I'm halfway to retirement.
Yeah, and now you're way past that.
2.5 years, I'll be retired. I'll be 44 and retired. And
that's a hell of a deal, man. 44 and retired.
Yeah,
you're on the right path.
Yeah, and had a lot of fun and got to do a lot of cool things.
There you go.
Within the department, and promoted multiple promotions, and I was on the tactical team for 10 years there in Rawlins, and it's been a good time.
Do you miss Rawlins, Wyoming at all?
No. But I was there for a long time. I didn't mind it, but I'm into the outdoors.
Well, yeah.
Which, Rawlins can be a hard place to live, but if you like to hunt, you like to fish, it's a great place. Yeah, because you've got several mountain ranges within the area. But I bought a house in Saratoga, so I was living in Saratoga, commuting to Rawlins.
Oh, okay.
So I really enjoyed living I do miss living in Saratoga. Yeah, because
Saratoga is beautiful.
Yeah, and I could wake up in my own bed and be in the hunting woods, right? At sunup, and it wasn't that big of a thing. Now I've got to make a little more plans. I still hunt back there. But
let's actually dive into hunting a little bit. Yeah, because you're a muley fanatic, ain't you? Yeah. Not really a fanatic, but it's usually what I spend most of my time hunting. You don't really chase elk too much, right? Yeah. I did a lot more back when I lived there. But like I said, I was closer. Yeah. Now, because I got to travel, I got to plan vacations and stuff like that. So I kind of have to be picky. Right. And I usually hunt general elk, but I usually try to draw my muley tags. So I spend most of my time chasing the draw tags. I got you. And I'll hunt everything from rabbit, pheasant, all the way up. Right. So, let me hear about your favorite hunt that you ever had. Actually, it was a cow. And there was nothing special about this hunt until
I shot it. It was a cow elk.
Oh, okay.
And I'd been hunting an area for quite a while, and I wasn't seeing anything. I mean, I was hiking all over, and I just wasn't seeing. I was seeing the sign, but I wasn't even seeing track, nothing. And then a guy from work told me, he was like, "Hey, go check out this area. There's a lot of elk up in there," and I'd never been there before. So my plan was I wasn't going to get up before sunup because I didn't know the area. I was going to drive there with the sun up and just kind of scout around, like, and try to get a lay of the land, and then the next day get out there before sunup. And well, as I'm just walking around, I started smelling elk. And mind you, this was like 9 o'clock when I left my house. I get out to the area and I'm like just walking around the woods, and I start smelling elk. Man, that's like really close. And then I kind of hear a crunch, so I kneel down, and this was right at the end of elk season. So cow calf had it switched from any elk to cow calf only. It was like October 30th, I think, whatever, for that area. And so I kneel down. Well, then this elk walks out like over the top of me. And I had a 6-power on my 30-06 is what I was using. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to shoot it. And I probably shot this thing with the rifle at maybe 7 yards. I looked through the scope and I couldn't see anything. All I saw was brown. So I just turned the scope sideways and I eye down. I'm like, well, if I miss from here, like, I need to just hang this up and pull the trigger and it runs off. Well, I'm like, there's no way I missed. Well, I looked down and I just completely painted the backside of trees with blood.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Okay, so
I
knew I got the hit, and then it ran off maybe 30, 40 yards, but it was thick stuff. And it fell down, and I don't know how it got into the stuff it fell down in, because I couldn't stand up straight to try to quarter this thing out.
Oh, mercy.
And I only had to pack this thing out maybe 200 yards.
Well, at least it was a good pack out.
But it took me 8 hours because there was parts where I had to get on my hands and knees and crawl.
Oh, wow.
It was miserable.
Dang.
But it was just fun. Like,
yeah, that's your most memorable hunt, right? Like, you did what you had to do.
Meat in the freezer, but I couldn't even use my scope. It was.
So did you hunt back in Michigan then?
I did.
No? Did you?
Yeah, and I still go back every couple of. It used to be every other year, but lately it's kind of taken it back. Head back there and hunt whitetail. But I grew up hunting small game and whitetail back there. I don't really hunt Michigan anymore. I hunt Ohio a little bit more. Yeah. But I go back there, straight wall cartridge only. So I use a 450 Bushmaster.
When did that change? Because like when I used to hunt when I was a kid, I could use a 270 or whatever I wanted.
So in Michigan, there's a line about mid-state of the Lower Peninsula. And if you're below that, growing up, it was shotgun only for me. So my first deer rifle was a 20 gauge shotgun with a scope and a rifle barrel, and we would just use slugs. That changed, I don't know, in the last 10 years.
Really?
I lived out here when it went to, you could shoot straight wall cartridges, but you still can't use centerfire rifles. But above whatever the line is in the state, you can use centerfire rifles.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, because I was above that line. Yeah. Obviously. And
you hope you're above that line.
And I can remember, that was the first rifle I ever bought was a 270.
Yeah, I didn't own a straight or a centerfire rifle until I moved to Wyoming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just didn't have them.
Yeah. I know that you're a bit of a gun collector now.
Yep.
What's your favorite gun for hunting now?
I still use just a plain Jane bolt gun. That 30-06 is the first gun I ever centerfire that I bought. And I've put a lot of meat in my freezer with that gun, and I still go to it. I've got a 6.5 Creedmoor. I've shot a few antelope with. I shot one deer, and I didn't like how the bullet. I mean, it killed the deer.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not going to shoot anything above a deer.
Got you.
With that rifle. Because the bullet went in and never came out, which is a good thing. But I want to kill the thing. I don't want to have to. So I'm like, I'll just stick with my 6.5 or my 30-06.
Yeah.
Excuse me, for anything bigger than deer. But yeah, so I still go back to that old 30-06. I guess.
Yeah, that's cool to hear though. Like you have all these other ones that you could snag up at any time, you know, and carry them out there, and they might even work a little bit better here and there.
Yeah. But I mean, I can dial down the grain for an antelope, or I can dial it up for elk, and so
I gotcha. Do you carry every day, right? No, whether it's for duty or not duty.
Yeah, actually, I don't carry on duty, but
oh, you do not at all.
No,
Got you. That's okay.
Surprising, but
yes, very. Yeah.
But as soon as I clock out, I carry.
What do you carry?
It depends on the time of year. In the winter, where I'm wearing coats and flannels, and I'll wear a Glock 17 9mm full size handgun. Yeah, and I'll carry that outside the waistband. In the summer, where I'm dressed like this, where I'm wearing more fitted t-shirts, I carry a Springfield Hellcat. Oh, okay. 9mm, the Pro. Oh, okay. I gotcha. So, yeah, that was Dean Bowman's favorite too. Was the Hellcat. Yeah, that was the first subcompact I bought. I shot a few of the. I'm a big Glock guy. I like the Glocks. I kind of figured when you said Glock 17. Yeah, which that's when I do carry on duty. That's our duty weapon is a Glock 17, and that was the first handgun I learned how to shoot on. So okay. That's why. I mean, they're not the prettiest. They're comfortable. Yeah. No, they're not pretty. They're not pretty at all. But I treat my guns like tools. Yeah. So I don't care about having a pretty hammer, as long as it does what I need it to do. For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's like everybody's raving about Kimbers, right? Oh, Kimber pistols, they're so good. It's like, they are until you get them dirty. Yep. And the such a tight tolerance on them, they don't like any kind of grit or dust being blown around. I can't bring myself to spend that much on a handgun. No. Because unless it's going to be a safe queen and you're just going to pull out, which I do have my safe queens. I've got guns that I bought strictly because I wanted it, not because it's got any practical use. That it's like my muscle car in the garage, which I don't have a muscle car, but I take it out when it's sunny and it's a nice day, and I put a few rounds through it just to say, this is my thing, and I put it back in the safe. I clean it, put it back in the safe, and it doesn't come out until the next sunny day. But yeah, spending that much on a handgun because like I said, I treat them like tools. Yeah. And if I have to use that tool to defend myself, law enforcement's going to take that gun away. Oh, for sure. So no matter what. Yeah. I would rather lose my, $400 or $500 Glock than $1,000 Kimber. I had one person on the God Gun in Glencairn. He started talking about how you could just throw the Glocks in the dishwasher because they're just nothing but Tupperware because he's a SIG fan. And I was like, yeah, you can actually just throw it in the dishwasher if you really want to. Yeah, I can also drop it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. No, I've never been a fan of SIGs. And this is pre-320 controversy. A friend of mine had one. I shot it. I didn't like the feel of it. I don't like the way they sit in my hand. Yeah. And I'm a big fan of the M&Ps. I really like the way that they fit my giant hands. Yep. But I cannot go with that completely straight up and down SIG, dude. Yeah. I don't like SIGs. I only own one, and the only reason I own it, it's a SIG P365X macro, so they're subcompact ported. Yep. I paid $20 for it. I won it in a raffle. No kidding. I would have never walked into a gun shop and bought that. Now, it's a good gun. I've shot it. Yeah. I've carried it before, but I always go back to my Hellcat, for a subcompact, and I just don't like SIGs. But everyone's got their own thing. Oh, for sure. You got your Ford guys, your Chevy guys, but it's the same with guns. Gun guys are the same. Oh, absolutely. So what made you want to stick with a 9mm versus a 40 or anything else for your carry? I just don't think, especially with modern day ammo, that there's much difference between 940 and 45. If I'm going into like grizzly country, well, yeah, I'm going to carry. I've got a 357 Magnum that I'll take into that, which I don't spend a lot of time in grizzly country. No. So, obviously the gun you carry is going to be dictated by your lifestyle.
Mhm.
And I don't see any reason to carry anything bigger
Mm-mm.
than my 9. I would rather
Right.
have that 17 or 18 rounds
Yeah.
than 10 rounds in a 45.
Yep.
And the difference in the hole you're going to make is kind of negligible.
Oh, for
modern
sure.
ammunition.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's been a debate too. Is the self-defense ammo or just full metal jacket and just send it and see what happens?
Me personally, I think you should be running self-defense ammo
Yeah.
just because of the liability on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
If you train with your full metal jacket, but know what your defense ammo
absolutely,
is going to do out of your gun. So I train with a 124 grain full metal jacket, but I carry all my carry guns have Hornady, either critical defense or critical duty.
Okay,
on the gun. 124 grain.
Yep, same as me.
And I know that ammo runs through my guns because I've shot it.
Well, that majority it's a Glock, so it's
so. What I don't want to have happen is I have to draw that gun and defend myself or someone else, and I punch straight through the person I'm trying to deal with,
right?
And I hit somebody that had nothing
or
to do
kid.
with it. Yeah. I mean, the civil liability. I mean, let's forget.
For sure.
What I'm going to have to deal with in my own head, but the civil liability there. So, defense. I recommend defensive ammo. Some kind of a hollow point. Just for that reason.
Yeah.
Sure, you're going to be able to do work with a full metal jacket.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Spend the money, get a defensive round, so you want that bullet to stop. The one thing I always tell people is every round you shoot has a lawyer attached to it.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it. I like that. Yeah.
Keep that in mind. And, if you're ever in a defensive shooting, there's 3 fights you got to win. You got to win the physical fight to survive. You got to beat the criminal case. Because if you're in a defensive shooting,
for sure,
you need to understand a few things. Cops are going to treat that as a crime was committed until they know there was no crime committed. You're probably going to be arrested. You're probably going to spend a night in jail. And you're probably going to have to talk to some cops.
Oh, for sure.
Do not talk to cops without a lawyer. After you beat that criminal case, now you got to beat the civil case. And that family is going to come out, or that person, if they survive that, they're going to come out and they're going to sue you.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got to beat that. And the threshold for a civil case is far lower than a criminal case. So it's actually easier to lose a civil case than it is to lose a criminal case. Because if you think about it, what's a criminal case? What are we relevant to? It's got to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, right?
That's true.
A civil case is only preponderance, which basically means 51%. There's more evidence suggesting you did something wrong than. So they don't have to prove that you did anything criminal. It doesn't have to get to that level. It doesn't have to be beyond a reasonable doubt.
Got you.
So. Like carrying a gun is a very serious thing. If you're carrying a gun in public, it's a very serious thing. And I don't think people understand that.
They don't grasp it, no.
And that's why I kind of want to focus on, in my classes, the physical skill of it. Because you can take plenty of classes, especially in Cheyenne. There's 2 that I know of that I assume they cover the legal aspect of it.
Right.
There's one at Sportsman's Warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
Another one, I believe it's like at a Holiday Inn. Well, I know you're not shooting at those places.
No,
so
probably not. No.
My guess is you're sitting in a classroom and they're talking about the legal aspect. Maybe they have you pick up some guns and do some loading, unloading with dummy
blanks,
rounds or something.
Yeah.
But there's the physical skill there. Just because you can load and unload a gun doesn't mean you're proficient with carrying that gun.
Right.
You need to be able to hit what you're shooting at.
Absolutely.
And shooting bullseyes is a very easy thing to do, right? But when your heart rate's around 200 because someone just kicked in your door in the middle of the night, I mean, trained professionals, their accuracy drops dramatically in a high-stress situation. So if you don't go out and train for that kind of stuff, what's going to happen at that scenario? Are you
absolutely?
You're not going to be able to see those sights. Can you shoot a gun?
You're going to shit yourself.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly.
Like you're gonna shit yourself.
Are you gonna be able to handle the situation? Like I said, your heart rate's at 200. Have you ever had your heart rate that up? That a lot of people have it.
Right.
You know, a lot of people haven't even got their heart rate in, you know, the 150s.
Yeah.
So what does your body do?
Yeah. Then what does your brain do in accordance to that, right?
You know, when the body's under great stress, it dumps it. You get that adrenaline dump.
Mm-hmm.
You get stronger, you get faster, but you get incredibly dumb. Right?
Yeah.
And then you get tunnel vision. You can't, your front sight focus that everyone teaches, front sight focus, you know, you always hear that. That's out the window because you can't see anything other than the threat. You got tunnel vision. You don't know what's going on left and right of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not going to be able to hear anything.
Yeah, no.
So your family's screaming. You're not going to hear that. And you may start pulling the trigger and have no idea. You know, it's not uncommon for law enforcement involved in a shooting when they're asked, how many times did you shoot?
Yeah, they say, I don't know.
Or they say, I only shot twice. Well, they unloaded their magazine and then they did a reload. You know?
Yeah.
And that's documented.
Oh, yeah.
That is a thing that happens. So if you don't have the physical skills to deal with that problem when you're not stressed, you know, your body can't go where your mind's never been.
You could even go as like the mental fortitude to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like it's physical, but at the same time, you got to have the mental capacity. Like you said, getting that in stress, the oh shit moment is here. What are you gonna do? You're gonna shit the bed and just kind of
and you really don't know. And to be honest, I mean, we can drive your heart rate up and get you
for sure. Yeah,
that's easy to do.
Yeah,
you know, go sprint, touch that building, come back, and I'm gonna have you shoot a course of fire. But when your life's really on the line, you don't know how you're going to react, and that's a hard thing to try to train.
Oh yeah, absolutely it is.
Because I can't. How do I safely make you fear for your life?
Yeah, I don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you can go force on force trainings with like simunition guns and airsoft and stuff like that. But deep down, you know, okay, this is going to hurt if I get hit.
It's going to hurt. Yeah, even paintball back in the day. Remember when I don't know if you ever did. We used to freeze them.
No, never. It wasn't something I ever did.
But yeah, we'd only do that to ourselves. We'd go out in the hay fields and shoot each other with it.
Yeah.
Not smart, but it was fun.
Stuff we did as a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was fun. I don't know how I walked away, but.
Yeah. You know, it'd be all right.
So.
Yeah, that's actually good news. Like I like to be able to hear that kind of thing because I didn't know, you know, all of everything that you just said. That would never really popped into my head. Like, but you're 100% correct. Like when you get in that situation, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Body does weird things. You know, you brought up shitting yourself. It's not uncommon to have that happen, piss and shit.
Yeah.
Your body's gonna make a decision on what's important at that particular time for your survival, and digestion may not be one of it. So it may just push everything out. Like, I don't need this. Get out.
Yeah.
And you may not know until the whole thing's done. You're like, you know, what the hell is that smell?
Right.
You know, who knows? You don't know.
I mean, I think that if there's anybody that's like gone and done, wants to do something like that and get more training involved in that, if they've been in the woods at all, right? Like if they grew up in the woods, there's always an oh shit moment somewhere in those woods, man.
Yep.
And they can maybe channel a little bit of that, but I don't think that it's going to be the same threat level unless it's like a grizzly bear or something charging you. You know,
until you're facing down, like, until you're in that position where, like, if I lose, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like, and I've never been in that. I've never had to shoot anybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't even know how I'm going to react. I would hope with the amount of training I do and stuff like that, I would be able to
muscle memory at this point, right?
Respond appropriately, but like I said earlier, you know, your body can't go where your mind's never been.
Right. Have you ever had an oh shit moment in the woods? Speaking of,
in the woods, yeah, but it had nothing to do with animals. I actually got lost.
Oh.
I went in and I was bow hunting, and it was up in the Snowies.
So you were just hiking with your bow?
Yeah, pretty much. And as I got into the area I was hunting, I started hearing bugling, so I started kind of tracking it. Well, then a bunch of fog moved in, and I kind of got turned around and couldn't find any elk. So I like throw my pack down, I pull my GPS out, and the GPS wasn't in my bag. Gone. Like, oh shit, because I thought I had the GPS, so, you know, shame on me for not double checking my equipment before I left my truck. But I got a general idea where I'm at. So I started walking. Well, like I said, that fog moved in. So I thought I was moving in one direction. I was moving in a different direction. And, panic started to set in. And like I said, I got incredibly dumb. I started and by the time I got out and hit a road, I was only like 3 miles direct shot from my truck. Not bad.
Yeah.
But by road, I was like 8. Like I basically went up and over 2 ridges.
Damn.
Without knowing it.
Yeah, because it was foggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was making a bunch of stupid mistakes. At one point, I was like, okay, I'm spending the night out here. And with that fog came a little bit of rain. So I was like, okay, I got to get a fire. I got to get my clothes dried out because I'm spending the night out here.
Yeah.
I need to do that before the sun goes down. But luckily, I found the road and
good.
was able to get back to my truck. That was my big shit moment.
Yeah. I've had a few. I've had a bear at black bear only at 18 yards. And he stood up, and when we first said, "Hey, bear," he just kind of stood up and turned his head at us, and I was like,
like weighing you up.
Yeah. And all I had was a bow too. Before I started carrying a pistol in there, and I went ahead and knocked an arrow real quick. It's like, this is what I got, bro. We're gonna do it. And I had another one 2 years ago where we were standing off the top of the mountain, kind of looking down. And we got service up there, right? So you get complacent with yourself and you start texting people, say, hey, I'm still alive, texting my wife. And all of a sudden I look up and there's a little black fur ball, bro, 10 feet away, 20 feet away. It was real close. And I'm looking at him and I looked at my buddy and I said, he's about 5 feet behind me. I said, hey man, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is not going to be a good situation. And I start stepping backwards immediately, getting space, and here comes another one. And I'm already nerve-wracked, dude. It's the oh shit moment is coming.
Mama's coming somewhere.
Exactly, yep. And my buddy's like, well, just let me get a picture. I said, bro, fuck your picture. I'm not sticking around. You want to get a picture? Go on up there. Go ahead. I'm going back this way, though. And I kept walking backwards, and Mom never came.
Huh.
So I don't know where she was in the vicinity or if she got shot prior to. I couldn't tell you because it was archery elk season. So, I mean, maybe I counted my blessings that day, sir. I really did because I left my pistol in my Polaris Ranger.
Yeah, I've never really had any scares with animals. I guess I was out coyote hunting one day and I was calling and I kind of heard something and I looked back and there's a bobcat staring at me, probably 20 yards. Kind of crept up on me, but yeah, I've never.
Them things still fuck you up, bro.
Yeah.
They might be little.
It kind of happened. As soon as it saw me see it, it ran. Oh, yeah. So it wasn't a case where I got scared, but everything happened so fast I don't think I had time to. I just kind of looked and there's a bobcat and then it was gone.
Well, that's a good thing, man. I don't ever want to see cubs again that close.
Yeah, that would be a terrifying.
That was a situation where I was like, this is the wrong place, wrong time, and I'm too fat for this bullshit. We gotta figure this out. Yeah, the one time that you get complacent and leave your pistol somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's just like me. I didn't double check my gear before I walked out into the woods and left my truck. I just assumed the GPS was in there.
Right. And that goes for everyday carry too.
Exactly.
Make sure your shit is in working order. Make sure you have every single thing that you're going to need for that day.
Right.
Make sure it's clean. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm not that good about that too. I mean, my guns don't get dirty. If they even start feeling a little bit gritty, I clean them.
Right.
I'm not the guy that as soon as I get home from the range, I spend the next 3 hours detailing my gun.
Oh yeah.
Bore a snake through the bore, and then I'll check the chamber and everything. And if it's good, it's good. I mean,
I got you. So, do you have a gun that you own that you absolutely hate besides a SIG?
Well, I do own a High Point.
Is that for scientifical purposes? Or?
Yeah, I just wanted to try it out.
And did it live up to its name?
Well, I've never had a malfunction with it.
Really?
I mean, I haven't put a lot of rounds through it.
I got you.
I mean, it's got the ergonomics of a DeWalt power drill.
Yep.
But when I got into stippling, like stippling my own handguns and making more aggressive grip, I would stipple the high point to get the feeling.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would go over to the gun that I actually cared about and stipple.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So it's the grip's all
it's
jacked
your
up.
Test dummy.
Yeah. But honestly, I was in a gun store and I saw it. I'm like, I've heard a lot about these things. And the gun guy was like, well, they never get brought back. I'm like, well, who's going to return a $150 handgun? Yeah. Like, if it doesn't work, they're probably just going to give it to me.
Yeah.
And so I bought it. And like I said, I've ran it and I've never had a malfunction. I haven't ran it hard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing weighs like 6.5 pounds.
Yes, it does. Yep. They are all made in America, though.
Yeah. Ohio, actually.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard a lot of people, they're carbine. And I think they have a 10 mil.
They do have a 10 mil.
And a lot of people are talking it up. They're like, it's ugly, it's heavy.
Yep.
But the thing runs.
Yeah, that's even the same with their pistol. Honestly, all the reviews that I've heard and read and watched on YouTube has been, it works, dude, until you put an aftermarket magazine in it. It don't like it. So don't do that. But other than that, it'll run.
I think it's got like a cast iron slide. I don't know what the slide's made of, but it feels like cast iron.
It does.
But yeah, that, which I don't necessarily hate. It just sits in the safe now. Like I said, if I'm going to stipple something, I'll get it out and get my feeling on that.
Like a gun that you like regret. Like you're like, I probably shouldn't have bought that. You don't have one, do you?
I really have one.
Good.
Usually, if I go out and buy a gun, I bought it for a specific purpose.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I have one.
Okay.
I got an old. There's this. It's like a Marlin Model 25, 22 long rifle.
Oh, okay.
I bought it from a pawn shop. I think I only paid like $90 for it. Maybe that it doesn't get any use anymore.
I gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't think of anything.
Well, let's flip that a little bit. What's your most prized possession?
My 50.
I kind of wondered if that's the one you were going to bring
that's
up.
That's my muscle car in the garage. That's the one that, well, I mean, it's $7 a round to shoot.
Well, yeah.
So, and it's a break action breech load, so it kicks hard.
Oh, mercy.
So I take it out and shoot it. Like if friends want to go out, I'll take it out and let them shoot it.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. But I didn't buy it to shoot it. Like I didn't buy it. I've always wanted a 50. I had the opportunity to buy one, so I bought one.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yeah.
And that was because you did something kind of cool and special, right?
Yeah. So Texas was requesting help at the border, so I got to go down to Texas and assist them, Texas State Patrol, with border stuff. Gotcha. And so I got done, and I made a lot of money. Between the overtime and the per diem.
Can you talk about any of that at all?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't like classified.
Well,
nothing like that. It's literally all I did is transport detainees.
Oh, okay.
Is all I did.
I got you.
They would pick them up, they drop them off to us, and we would drive them to the
holding
center.
I gotcha.
So,
yeah,
it was an eye-opening experience. We're right there in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Okay.
Which is right on the Rio Grande, and 50 yards away from Mexico. It was so hot when we were down there. We would start at 6 a.m. Our shift started at 6 a.m. and before the sun came up was about the only time it was cool enough.
Oh yeah.
To not be in air conditioning, and so I would walk down and just drink my coffee on the river. And like I said, I'm 40, 50 yards away from Mexico. And throughout the day, you'd see people walk up kind of on the shore and watch us, and we'd watch them. And then occasionally people would just get in the water and walk across, and
gotcha.
Deal with the situation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there wasn't any like excitement.
Oh, I gotcha.
That I had.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of stuff going on down there. And
Yeah. Yeah. I actually listened to Sean Ryan, and that dude's. I was listening to the episode with the borders are. That's crazy shit. Like,
and we were only dealing with people that were getting caught like within like a 6 mile zone. Anything
really?
outside of that was Border Patrol was handling.
Oh, okay.
Like, and then you would hear about it. Like, you'd see a lot of. They'd come across in groups.
Oh, okay.
And you'd see a lot of like people with kids, but you'd see men come across, and despite what people think, from my experience, they weren't splitting up families. So the people I was transporting to holding centers were only people that had committed a crime once they made it to American soil.
Oh, got you.
If there was like family units, they were going to another place.
Oh, okay.
So, but you would see people come across, like groups of people, and a male would claim, "Oh, that's my wife and kids," and the wife and kids didn't know who they were. There was stuff like that going on. So there was, they had like Texas had staff that obviously could speak Spanish. Were trained on how to kind of decipher that.
Yeah,
there was no doubt human trafficking going on.
Oh, for sure.
We had heard a lot of the stories, and I don't know if you remember hearing about the buoys that they put in the Rio Grande. That was a big. They put these big orange buoys in the river, right? That were supposed to be, you can't climb across them because if you start climbing up them, they roll. And they had chainsaw blades and spikes on them.
What?
This is what was being claimed on on the news,
mainstream, mainstream media.
The facts. They took us down and showed us these buoys, and these buoys were like, I thought these things ran the length of the Rio Grande. There was miles of these things. No. About 200 yards of them, and they're in water that's about knee high.
Oh,
so
goodness.
You could just walk around the end of them.
Oh, goodness.
And the chainsaw blades they were talking about were just sprockets, so you could so you could move them.
Oh, gotcha.
And then the spikes were just bolts that were to hold these buoys in place. That's all it was. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Mainstream media really did that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they facts.
Man.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's how they twist it.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought one thing, and then I saw it.
Yeah.
In person. It was like, this is it. Like, this, and I believe there were federal lawsuits over that. Like, no doubt, millions of dollars of taxpayers' money went into fighting those things.
Probably.
And you could literally just walk around them.
Man, now, I guess that just goes to show you how much that the mainstream media really sucks, or they're really good at doing their job.
I don't know, man. Like, take what the news is telling you on both extremes,
for sure,
and settle somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that means watch CNN and Fox.
Yeah, and then make your own conclusions about what's going on. Like,
you might as well. I mean, at this point, it's anybody's guess, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That's about the best way to explain it without getting too far into that one.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Pretty much. So what do you got coming up next? Like, what's the next big goal that you're going for?
The tactical games.
The tactical games.
Like I said, that was my goal this summer. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Well, explain a little bit more about this tactical games.
So the tactical games, it's kind of a combination. If you follow CrossFit, it's like toned down CrossFit. So there's exercise involved, but they added competitive shooting.
Oh.
And it's 2 guns, so it's rifle and pistol.
Wow.
So you'll do like some kind of a workout that includes shooting. And a contest is usually 2 days long. They have skirmishes that are like 1 day. I want to do a full 2 day. And I believe it's 5 workouts plus shooting. And then depending how you score is how you finish.
Right. So do you have a place that you can practice doing this?
I shoot out at Outer Road shooting range. And I can pretty much make that work. It's a great club. fairly affordable. And it's never so crowded that I can't. I always have a range to myself. So if I want to film a YouTube video, if I want to go out there and I'll take sandbags out with me and I'll do sandbag carries and cleans and stuff like that and then shoot off that. I can find a range where I'm by myself and I can do that stuff out there.
How far can you go up to out there? Like how many yards can you go if you're
they have a rifle range that I believe goes out to it's either 1,200 or 1,500.
Oh, okay.
But there's a number of pistol bays that's handgun only. There's a shotgun bay that has clay pigeon throwers.
Oh, nice.
There's an archery where you can shoot your bow. Number of 22 only bays.
So your class is the class that you have, right?
Yep.
You take them out to auto?
Yep.
Okay.
I work with auto.
Oh, very good.
Well, I contract with auto.
Oh.
They let me use the range, and then
I got you.
I pay them like a range usage fee to teach classes.
Oh, I got you.
So
I got you. That's cool that they're willing to work with you a little bit. And
yeah, it's super easy to deal with.
Good. Yeah, that's a good shout out for Auto Road.
Yeah.
So.
And they're an FFL. I've actually got some guns off Gun Broker. I've had delivered to them.
Oh, okay. So. I got you.
Yeah.
Very nice. But you're wanting to grow that, right? Like you're wanting to be able to do an advanced class and then into shotguns more and anything else like that. You didn't really explain a whole lot about the tactical games a little bit. I was hoping you'd go into a little more.
Yeah, so I one of the like I said, it's kind of like CrossFit-esque. It's not as extreme as CrossFit. Like workouts.
Like what would a workout be for that? Did they give you like
some kind of a farmer's carry or a run for distance?
Okay. So they're not making you do like 900 burpees and then a wall walk.
I mean, there are like burpees and stuff involved, and sandbag carries and pull-ups, rope climbs, stuff like that.
I got you.
Whatever they can kind of make happen with the space that they have, and then you have to shoot.
Oh, okay.
And some of the workouts are just strictly like, okay, you're going to run X distance.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, you have to wear body armor throughout it.
Got you. Oh, so you have to be fully.
Yep. So men, their vest has to be, I believe, 15 pounds.
Oh, okay.
With nothing on it, no magazines. Oh. You have to strip everything off. So your vest and the plate itself with no add-ons has to be, I believe it's 15 pounds for men. It's like 12 pounds for women.
Oh, okay.
And you have to wear that throughout.
The whole time you're doing everything.
Yep.
I got you.
And then some shooting will just be pistol. Some shooting will just be rifle. Some shooting will be both.
And now is that going to be like, seems so it's tactical, right? Are you going to have to advance while you're shooting and all this other stuff too? Or is it just going to...
No, the research I've done, it seems pretty stationary.
Oh, really?
But it's all, they get you exhausted before you start shooting.
I got you.
So
that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
I want to say it's like growing, but I feel like it's kind of been around, but not a lot of people have heard of it.
So. There's actually one dude down in, I think it's Denver, that does that for archery. I don't remember the guy's name, but they used to have like the archery games as well, where they'd make, and it was all CrossFit, basically the same thing as what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to do the same kind of exercises, and then you got to be able to pull and shoot the bullseye, and they had metal around the bullseye. So, when you're breathing super heavy, there was a lot of spent arrows, bro. Yeah. They're just shattered out there at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that looked pretty interesting to do.
But I got to talk about once your heart rate goes up, like you can be a dead eye. Standing on a range with no stress.
For sure, yeah.
Once you jack your heart rate up, then what's it going to do?
Yeah, what's it going to do when that animal steps in front of you and you have the shot?
Yep.
Like the almighty buck fever.
Yep. That's a real thing.
It absolutely is a real thing. Yeah. Nothing else though, huh? You don't have...
No.
That was a main goal for this year.
That's still a main goal.
Yeah.
If I can't do it this summer, I'll do it next summer.
I gotcha.
I still have an opportunity. I was going to try to do a contest in Idaho in June.
Is that another tactical games?
Yeah, that was my goal for this summer.
Okay.
There's another one in Iowa I might still try to make.
Oh, okay.
But if not, next summer for sure.
I got you. So do they only do them in like certain parts of the country?
Yeah, it's like a regional thing.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So they have the regionals, and like it's kind of set up similar to CrossFit in that if you place high enough in a regional, you can then go to nationals.
That makes sense.
And there is a national, and there's some guys that have transitioned from CrossFit. That were like top tier CrossFit competitors that transitioned into the tactical games. That if you can get into that division, the elite division is what they call it, and depending on the division is going to dictate what kind of equipment you can use.
Oh, really?
Yep. So if you're in the elite, I believe it's iron sights only on a handgun, and then in all the divisions, optics are you can only have like one optic, and your guns have to remain in the same condition you started the contest with. So you can't like start the contest and be like, this setup doesn't work for me, and start swapping stuff.
So which one are you going to fall back to use for that?
My plan is I'm going to use a full-size AR with a limited power variable optic LPVO. Okay. That's a 1:8. Okay. So I can shoot out to distance if I need to. I can shoot up close. Yeah. And then my handgun, I'm going to run my Glock 17 with
back to the Glock, huh? Yep.
I'm going to run a Glock 17 with a red dot.
They're reliable, man. Yep. You can't. It doesn't matter what you do.
It's the AK of the handgun world, in my opinion.
Yep. I don't think you're wrong. I can tell you. Yeah, you can beat the hell out of that poor gun, and it doesn't care.
I mean, I'm still running a Gen 3.
That's what I have.
Yeah, and which, in my opinion, was the best gen of Glocks. Mm-hmm. The Gen 4s were I didn't care for, and the Gen 5s got a little bit better, but I still like my Gen 3.
Yeah, I've held some Gen 5s. I've never shot any, but the grip don't seem as comfy to my giant ass hands. I don't.
Yeah, and like I said, everyone's going to be different. Mm-hmm. What you like is
for sure
what I like.
Exactly.
What you shoot great is not what I shoot great. So
yeah. Matter of fact, when I took my concealed carry class, I used the shield. Mm-hmm. Shot piss poor. Ran back to the truck. Got the old Glock. Right on the button, dude. And I'm like, this is nuts.
Yep. I've got a Glock 43, so they're subcompact. I don't like that gun, but the last two fingers in my hand hang off that gun.
Oh, really?
Now I could probably buy the mag extension to give my finger something to hook onto, but I'm like, well, I already have a Hellcat that fits in my hand.
Yeah. Somebody would say, why didn't you go with the 43X?
That wasn't a thing when I bought the 43. Which, yeah, I mean,
for sure. Yeah.
I have what I need now.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm not saying I won't buy those things because
for sure.
I buy plenty of guns that I don't need.
Yeah. I have to tell you that as far as the subcompacts go, I've held all the Glocks that are subcompact. I can't. Like, I have to either stick with a 19 or a 17 to be able to fit my hand. But the shield, I really don't know what it is about the handle. Fits all of my fingers, and it's like, how I don't get it, because it's like I measured it up to a 26, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and it's the same size.
Yeah,
everything's the same.
It's weird how that stuff works. It's all how they frame it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's crazy. So anything else you want to talk about, brother?
Whatever you want to talk about, bro.
Man,
your thing.
Shoo! I don't know.
I'm down for everything.
Cool. Let's just talk then.
Okay. What you ever played with shotguns like in a defensive?
No, I have not. I asked about the single shot because that's what I
Oh man. Shotguns are so fun. You can shoot everything from an elk down to a squirrel.
True. That's a valid point, yeah. Yeah, I want to buy a couple of pumps and have them just there at the house for like a situation, but
I literally just picked up a old police model trade-in Remington 870.
Really?
For $200 off Gun Broker.
No shit.
Yeah, just won an auction.
How was the condition of it? Was it pretty good still?
It runs.
Oh yeah.
I just posted a video where I'm running my shotguns. One of the pumps I'm running. Is that gun. It's got some surface like scratches and stuff. The thing with The thing you got to understand with like law enforcement trade-ins, most law enforcement guns aren't maintained as well as you would think they would be, especially shotguns where a lot of agencies aren't even running shotguns anymore.
Really?
So you either have to be specifically trained to run them, but most of the time they're just sitting in a rack and they just rattle there.
Really? No, they don't use them that much anymore?
No, you're starting to see like tactical teams are using them for breaching type stuff and less lethal.
No shit.
That's the other upside of pump shotguns. You can run less lethal if you want to.
Sandbags.
Yeah, like bean bags, rubber rounds, stuff like that.
I think rubber rounds will still hurt like a bitch, bro.
They do. It's like getting hit with a fastball. They hit hard. We've shot 55-gallon drums with them and dented them.
So you don't want to get shot by one?
No.
Man.
If you got yourself in a bad position, law enforcement's pointing a orange shotgun at you. You do not want to get hit with what's coming out of that gun.
You just shut your fucking mouth and deal with this?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, good to know now.
Yeah, and I'm actually trying to do a defensive shotgun course next Saturday. I'm doing a carbine course in the morning at 8 a.m. and then 1 p.m. I've got some people signed up for the carbine course. Nobody signed up for the shotgun course. I'm really hoping I pick up some people.
Right.
So if you want to sign up, sign up. But yeah, I love the shotgun.
It is one of the most versatile machines that you can actually have.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like go simple with it. Like
keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Like the semi-autos are cool and I own one.
For sure.
And if I'm running just strictly defensive loads like a double-aught buck, I'll run that semi-auto.
I got you.
But if you want to get variable and you want to mix up loads, you have to go with a pump. Because less lethal rounds are not going to cycle a semi-auto.
Yeah, I can see that hanging up a little bit.
Some bird shot won't even run out of a semi-auto.
Yeah.
So you may run into like some kind of a small load bird shot that doesn't have enough gas to cycle that. But a pump shotgun will eat it all.
It doesn't care.
And it's a hungry bitch. So a shotgun class, a defensive shotgun class is learning how to load and reload.
Gotcha.
Because you're going to run through those, even if you've got an extended tube and you're shooting, 8 rounds out of that gun. You're going to run through that quick. And now it takes some time to reload.
Yep. Yeah, when I was a younger kid, I think I was 12, I bought a 410 single shot. New England, because they were way cheap back then, right? Yep. Like you're like talking $100 a gun. Bro, I shot the ever-living shit out of that gun. And it still cycles, everything still works in it. Like everything still works perfectly. And it's actually, what I find really interesting was when I turned 16, I bought a 12-gauge single shot by Marlin. Thing's lighter than this fucking glass, right? So it kicks like a fucking mule. And the 410 is heavier and it's smoother shooting.
Yep.
And it's like, why would that be heavier, right? And I've been trying to figure that out, but I can honestly tell you, if you run 100 rounds through that single shot 12 gauge, you're not moving your arm the next fucking day.
I don't believe it. If you're not dealing with the shotgun properly, like recoil mitigation is something that you need to learn. And I teach the push-pull method.
Oh, okay.
So you're pushing the gun with your support hand, you're pulling it with your weapon hand. But you run a day of double-aught buckshot, you're going to feel it. But like I said, you can do variable loads. As far as a home defense gun, you're going to have to ask yourself if that's the right gun for you. Yeah. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Low recoil stuff, I tend to tell people to stay away from. But if you're running a pump gun,
it doesn't.
Low recoil if you want to.
Yeah, pumps don't care, dude. Literally, they don't.
And you can even run the little short shells.
I've seen them. I've never shot them before. And
semi-autos won't cycle them, but you can take a 4-round tube and make it a 8-round tube.
Oh, okay.
You can take if you got an extended mag, extended mag tube. You start using those short shells. That's just more ammo you can shove in
absolutely,
there.
yeah.
So you get more variety, I think, with the pump guns.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a level of expertise to running those things.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
You know.
So if you were gonna like, what is your home defense gun? Is it a pistol? Is it a
No, right
AR?
now it's I say right now, I'm always swapping. I live in a really small house, and I don't have kids. So again, where I said that your circumstances are going to dictate yours.
Yep.
So I don't have to worry about over-penetration on my interior walls.
Correct.
Because I don't have to worry about
anybody else sleeping in a bedroom. Yeah.
So I run a 300 blackout shooting subsonic ammunition.
Oh, okay.
So it's moving pretty slow. It's a big bullet, but it's moving slow. So I just need it to stop before it leaves my house. Gotcha. It can go through all the interior walls at once. I'm not worried about that. So that's my current gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just watching a video, I think by Grand Thumb, where he was actually shooting.
I love that guy.
They built interior walls, so they had studs at spec, and he shot a pile of calibers at this wall. And subsonic loads were the only thing. I mean, outside of 22, you're going to get over penetration
for sure
with anything.
Yeah.
He was shooting double aught buckshot. I was talking about how much I love shotguns.
Yeah.
Double aught buck was going through 4 walls.
Yeah.
5.56. That's a bullet that moves at 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
It's got a ridiculous speed. That's going to zip through walls. So it's all going to boil down to your circumstances.
Yeah.
And then shot selection. Like if whatever gun you're carrying is going to go through your house, you're going to have to be a little bit selective about what angles you shoot at. And
absolutely.
Maybe you need to be like shooting kind of at a downward angle if you can.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you know that there are people sleeping.
Yeah.
In that bedroom right there, maybe
shoot in that direction.
Yeah. Or aim up a little, just a smidge enough. Yeah. I hope I never have to.
It's not a situation I ever want to be in.
Me and Dean talked about that too. It's like, I hope I never have to pull the trigger.
I hope this is a skill that I spend a lot of time training that I never have to use.
Yep.
I hope it's all this time training was just wasted time. But I'm never going to consider it wasted time.
For sure.
Especially if I ever have to use it.
Right. Exactly.
Because I don't want to be in that position. Because like I said, even if you're completely in the right, you can still lose your house. You can still lose.
Oh yeah, you can lose a lot of things, bro. Like and not just you either. If you're married, with wife and kids and everything else, dude. Y'all lose it.
Yep.
It ain't just you no more.
Exactly.
So there's a lot more to stake. And do you do the insurance? The UC?
So I used to have
USCA?
USCCA.
Yeah.
The concealed carry. They started pulling the insurance. They started pulling coverage on some people, and I didn't like that.
Oh.
So I dropped it. I'm looking at a few others. The problem is you're dealing with insurance companies.
Yeah, for sure.
And I haven't found one that isn't an insurance company.
Got you.
Even Lawyers on Retainer came out and somewhere and said that, they're an insurance company.
No shit.
And like any insurance company, if they decide, well, we're not going to cover you, you're kind of out. So if you're depending on that, you could really be screwed.
I can see that.
And I'm sure USCCA, you can go on YouTube and search this stuff. You're going to find people on both sides of the coin.
Absolutely.
They had their reasons for denying what they denied. But, do I want to be in that position? I do know USCCA said, well, if you're charged with a crime, we're not obligated to cover you.
No shit.
Well, like I said earlier, police are going to investigate that shooting as a crime until they can show that it wasn't.
Correct.
That's just something you need to assume happens. So does that mean right off the bat they're going to say, well,
I guess that gives that opportunity, doesn't it?
That gives them an out. and that makes me uncomfortable, especially if I'm paying you. Sure, it's not a lot of money.
I mean, it's enough. Like if you're a family man with wife and kids, bro, it's an extra $50 a month. It's enough.
If you're paying, like you said, $50 a month, and you've been paying them for 3, 4, 5 years,
for sure, and all of a sudden they out on you, bro,
and they're like, nope, we're not going to cover you.
Imagine how pissed you'd be, like an immediate piss too. It's not
and it's like anything; they're there to make money, and which is sad in my opinion.
Agreed.
And I get why they have that clause in there, but at the same time, you're dealing with an insurance company.
Oh,
if an insurance company can choose not to pay out, they're going to.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a lot of money they have to pay out. And maybe they haven't recouped that much money from you.
Yeah, true.
How long have you been a member? Have you only been a member 6 months where they've only gotten
I guess
$300, $400, $500 out of you?
I guess they could hold that too, couldn't they? Be like, oh man, you've only been a member for a month, or even let's go down to a week, right?
Yeah.
To where you only gave them that initial payment, and now something happened, and you're like, well, what are we gonna do? And they're like,
there was actually a case of that, but I mean, I don't want to talk on it because I'm not an expert or nothing like that. So I currently do not carry any of that insurance. I was with USCCA for a minute, but like I said, there was stuff happening I didn't like, so I dropped it. Yeah,
good point.
So
yeah, I guess I didn't. Well, a lot of times, like when you're a gun guy, right? Like, and you're into Grand Thumb, like all of this stuff, and the old Iraq veteran 8888 used to be. I don't know whatever happened to him. So something happened to that channel. They're not producing as much as what they used to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't ask. But they always were promoting some type of insurance,
Yeah. But they're all being paid to do it.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Sponsorship.
Yeah. And you always see the ads pop up too, right? Yeah. Like you're doing YouTube now too. So I mean, granted, I only have 28 subscribers on this thing.
Subscribe.
Exactly. Yeah. What's with the commercials? Like, when do the ads? What do you?
You've got to meet YouTube's algorithm for monetization, and it's something like 1,000 subscribers and 40 hours of watch time. Like it's hard to be a small YouTuber.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, you're going to be doing it a while until you get to the point where you can make money.
Gotcha.
And then even when you make money, a lot of these, especially gun tubers, YouTube is not gun friendly.
No, they're not. No.
So if you're doing anything wrong, they demonetize a video. So even if you have monetization, not all those videos you see these gun tubers producing are making them money. So the sponsorships that they do within that video, where they're talking about USCCA, where they're talking about lawyers on retainer, all these different
Brownells and shit like that. Yeah,
Sportsman's Guide's another big one.
Yeah.
A lot of guys. They're doing that because they got to make money off that video, because they're not going to make money off that video through YouTube.
Oh,
because
good
Google
point.
and YouTube are not gun friendly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So,
and isn't that shitty that like people who make a YouTube channel based around guns, like that they know that platform is shutting them down immediately. Like that's shitty, bro. Because YouTube, you can find a whatever-year-old girl twerking, and that bitch be making millions.
Yep. Exactly.
But yet you break out a handgun, and I know this, that if you break it down and then put it back together, they don't like that either.
Oh yeah.
No, that's a big no.
I mean, I've even heard screwing on a suppressor.
Oh,
putting a suppressor on a gun will get a video demonetized.
No shit.
It's assembly.
So that means that a few of my other videos probably.
I've got them on my channel. Like, I'm not doing the YouTube thing to make money.
No.
You know, I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point of monetization.
No,
and if
I don't
do,
either.
I'm definitely not going to play that game where it's. I mean, if somebody calls me and says, "Hey, we want to sponsor you,"
you're going to be like,
"Yeah, I'll probably cash that check."
Let's talk about this.
But if I support what they're doing,
yes,
let me.
yes, yeah.
I'm not gonna, just shill.
Me to you, I already knew that's what was. I think that the other biggest thing that people don't understand is the editing.
Yeah.
Like trying to go through and if there's something you said that you shouldn't have said,
Yeah.
and then trying to make that a smoother transition. Like in some of my videos, you can see it's just
Yep.
and it's like
It's
I don't know what to do. Like I don't have the money to hire an editor and just.
It's tough to do, and that in and of itself can be a full-time thing.
Yes.
I'll go out and for a short, a 60-second video.
Yeah.
I may have to do 10, 15, 20 minutes of taping.
Yep.
And then go through and edit.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's just like this. Like on both of the podcasts that I do, I'll just start it and run it, right? Because, and we'll be recording for 3-4 hours. But if I can make a short out of something that somebody else said, and then lead that into, hey, watch. It's like
there's an
going back through, bro. And who do you use? What software do you use?
So I kind of do everything on an iPad.
Oh.
So I use LumaFusion.
Okay.
If I can get to where I can justify spending the money, I'll upgrade everything as I can.
Yeah. I thought about going because it fills up your phone fast, bro. Like I'm using GoPros and LumaFusion is what I'm using right now. Oh, okay. Yeah. So. I was going to, I have a sunroom at my house that's just kind of like a spare room, and I was going to make a podcast studio out of that, right? My wife's like, yeah, you need like 3 different camera angles. And I'm like, you want me to buy 3 different cameras?
And they're not cheap cameras.
No. And that's what I tried explaining. I was like, are you sure you really want 3? She's like, well, it'd just be nice to have a different point of view. Yeah. I'm like, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And like Mike's, like you were talking earlier, yours whistle in the wind. And
yeah, I'm going to have to do something about that and upgrade those. And
those ain't cheap either, bro. They're not cheap.
Yeah. So, and I'm spending enough money on guns and ammunition, and
for sure, yeah.
That's not cheap anymore.
Yeah.
If I can upgrade equipment as I go, I absolutely will.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm not gonna go all in.
Yeah.
On something unless there's some return there.
For sure. I mean, I'm using CapCut. You ever heard of that?
Yep.
And I record it on my phone and then upload it directly to CapCut and then re-download it onto my computer. So there's a whole system that you gotta use.
Yeah, when I do my shooting videos, it's GoPro footage, and then I load it to my iPad, and then I upload it to LumaFusion, and I use that.
It's a whole process, isn't it?
And I feel like I do mine fairly simple. Like I don't get too crazy with it. Yeah. Like I can add some filters here and there if I feel like I want to spice it up a little bit.
I don't even know how to add filters, bro.
But I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to get too crazy with it.
No, and that was the hardest thing for me was just figuring out how to, because I tried like, you Google what's the best editing software that you can get for a decent price. And then it's like, it spits out all these randos, and you download a few of them and you start doing it and you're like, this is not what I want.
Yeah.
So then you got to get rid of those. And now I'm on CapCut and it's still $30 a month.
Yeah. And the good programs, like, you're paying a ridiculous amount for, and you still have to like completely relearn the system.
Yep. And not only that, bro, let's talk about the computers that you are supposed to buy for editing.
Yeah.
It's like, this is nuts.
Yeah. That's why I just kept it simple. And I've been doing videos on LumaFusion for a while. So,
okay. You got that one down pat then.
Yeah. I'm comfortable with that. But I've never been in a position where I'm making like crazy detailed videos. Sure. Like I keep myself pretty simple.
Yeah.
When I'm doing that editing. So
I think you have to stop and look at it and be like, what am I trying to do?
Yeah. And I'm like I said earlier, I'm still trying to find my niche.
Mm-hmm.
So the less I can talk on camera, the more I think I'll benefit.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, and then Like you see all these people with cameramen and all this shit, and it's like, I mean, you could get a buddy to do it, but he's going to do it so long.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, hey, bro.
Yeah, he's going to want some money. And
he's going to want something in return.
You know, Grand Thumb's an entire company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he's got an entire production company.
Well, yeah, he should with those dummies that he buys and shit, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Those bitches ain't cheap.
Nope. I think I just looked them up. I think they're like $2,500 a piece.
And there's sometimes, bro, he's like destroying 2-3 of them on an episode. And it's like...
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Damn, son.
They're not cheap.
No. Nothing is cheap anymore, bro.
Nope.
Gallon of gas isn't cheap anymore.
No. Not at all.
You still got the same truck, the same Dodge?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the 2,500, that diesel.
Mm-hmm. No, last time I knew you had a 1,500.
Oh, no, I traded that in 2-3 years ago. I
no shit.
I wanted something with more towing. So I switched over.
For your camper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. For 2021 Ram 2,500.
Oh, okay.
Cummins.
Still intact?
Yep.
Yeah.
For now.
Until the warranty goes up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, allegedly.
Allegedly, I just had to delete one for a guy.
So.
I'm not afraid to talk about it. It's all right.
Why they put those on lawnmowers, I have no idea.
Yeah, that John Deere, they're the dumbest damn company. They actually do have them on tractors now. Yeah. That's the dumbest shit.
Go-kart don't need all that.
No.
So,
can you imagine having to deal with that bullshit when you're a farmer, bro? Like, let's just stop and think about that for a minute. Yeah. It never goes on the highways. It never goes on the main road.
Yeah. I mean, my truck will sit for weeks on end.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not getting on the highway, I'm really not firing it up.
True.
You know, Summer I drive it more because obviously I'm towing pretty much every weekend. But
yeah. And then hunting season comes around. Yeah.
But even then, it's like, okay, now I just finished hunting, but now I got to get out on the highway and regenerate this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's this thing regenerate because
yeah.
So.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I wish. So this is the first diesel I've ever owned.
Oh, okay.
And so I wish I would have done a little more research.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it is what it is. I love the truck.
Yeah. There you go.
But
I can honestly tell you that when things fall off, you will really love the truck.
I've had a lot of people telling me that. Like I said, just see what happens when the warranty goes up. Mm-hmm. Start the nuts and bolts.
How many miles you got on it now?
Like I said, I don't drive it that much. I think I'm only at like 40,000.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So. I had an old boy that had an 18, and this truck only had 80,000 miles on it when I got it, right? Like when I had to fix some stuff on it. And at 45,000, he took a trip to Montana. I think it was Montana. And up there, the DEF system quit working on him. And the service tech looked right at him and said, "You need to delete this now." It's like, how?
Yeah. Like, it's such a stupid thing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Like, why are we doing it?
Yeah.
And now California has decided that it kills more insects and birds than regular diesel emissions. It's like,
and did it even fix anything emissions related?
No. It stinks like a bastard, too.
Did it change anything?
Nope. And all it's doing is just recycling the EGR valve, just recycling all that soot right back into the motor. Like, have you ever heard of the grid heater delete yet? Oh, yeah, there's some things you should learn. So the Dodge made the grid heater that they use just has a single bolt that sits, your intake horn on the driver's side. There's that intake plenum that sits there, and then there's that horn that comes up like that. Inside of there is a little bolt about that big, and they ran power to it and then isolated it with a plastic, right? Like a thicker plastic, and then tightened nut to the bottom of it, and that's your grid heater bolt. That's the current flows through that bolt to heat the air to go into your cylinders when you start it in the cold, right? So what happens is that will corrode, obviously, over time. Well, that nut, where do you think that goes? Because it breaks apart.
Okay.
It goes back into cylinder number 6. And then you're left with a $30,000 oh fuck moment. And that's been happening ever since. I want to say it's more prominent in the 4th gens and 5th gens than it is in the older years.
Yeah.
And it's like, and banks have come out with a new way to do it, to where they, like, because I did this for a guy, because that's not illegal to do. You pull that horn off, and then you pull the intake plenum off. You have to pull all the injector lines, right? So all the injector lines come off. Then you've got to hold the fuel rail up. It's a process. And then you lay down this nice, pretty billet aluminum into intake plenum. And it's all opened. Like on the stock one, there's like a honeycomb shape that's like this long, bro. It's only this long that air can get in, right? Mm-hmm. And on the Banks one, it's more opened up. Like it's all clear. And air can flow through there. And you'd be surprised when you take that bitch off how much soot is inside of that plenum, bro. And then you look inside, like you turn the intake horn over, and it's just fucking caked, dude.
Jesus.
And then they use like their monster, it's like $1,000 to get this kit. And they include a new fuel line for number 1 because it's got to go up and over the monster ram intake horn. And then on the very top of it, on the back a little bit more by the valve cover, there's this coil about that big that has a bolt through it, but it's spring compressed, right? And then that drops down in there, and you tighten that up, and it's threaded on the top. So it's not ever going to break. Like you can tell by the construction that it's not going to fucking fail, right? And then you just attach that grid heater wire to it, and it takes away all that like little honeycomb bullshit to get clogged with air, other with the soot. And it's like, why couldn't Dodge or Cummins?
Because engineers are amazing human beings.
That's a great point. Yeah.